Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I, the pure consciousness, I, the pure consciousness, what I essentially am, or what I fundamentally am, the pure consciousness, is going to manifest the words of truth, ultimate truth, and wisdom through this mind and this body that I have chosen for this carnation. And blessings and peace be on the listener, the one who has uncluttered the unnecessary fog from herself, or it's say himself. Conducting the process of life brings happiness, clarity, and joy in us while we conduct a carnation. You understand? Conducting the process of life. And please remember, there is just life. There is no other thing, but there is just life. So conducting the process, the very process of life, with awareness brings joy, happiness, and clarity. It expedites the process of sharing the karma, and ultimately leads us to ultimate liberation or moksha. What we are trying to remember, or what we remember, that there is just life. From the day of our birthday, meaning the day when we are born, till the time of our bodily demise. Everyone, each one of us, completes a jivan or a carnation. The carnation, what's in between is called a carnation or a jivan. Starting from our birthday, the day we are born, till our bodily demise. Mind you, I said bodily demise, but I didn't refer it as death, because there is no such thing as death. There is just life. In the infinite, on the infinite line of life, there are knots. In between those two knots, what there is a carnation or a jivan, from birthday till bodily demise. Then it happens again and again and again. The reason we take a carnation or a jivan is because we try to shed our karma. You understand? You may have not the memory, because when we are born again, the body is new, and brain, which is an organ, it's in the body, also that is new. However, the jiva, which progresses after our bodily demise, the next carnation or the next body we find is based on that jiva, the liking, dislikings, and that jiva is the one which progresses based on all the karma, whatever the karma remains, whether more karma has been accumulated, or we have shed the karma, or we have shed some karma. What happens the day of our birth, on our birthday, we take a form, a body, and the brain, which is an organ, is new. We may not have the memory of previous lifetimes, and it's a beautiful thing. Otherwise, life would become, the Jivan or the carnation would become a mess. If you remembered or you have the memory of all the lifetimes you have lived in one carnation, it's not possible for us to survive literally with all that memory. So when the body is new, the brain is new. We may not have the memory. However, there is karma. I would give you an example. You see that a child who is an infant, a child, a baby, when they start to grow up, they show some signs that gets people baffled, and people get really amazed and baffled that how come a child or an infant is performing or saying something when they are growing up, usually at the age of 5 or 6. When they are growing up, usually at the age of 5 and 6, a young kid says things that baffle human beings, and they say, this is too mature to say for this age, or the liking, disliking, or the kid does not like a particular place but refers to other places for no reason. The reason basically cannot be explained, or the reason cannot be justified through a thinking mind, but it is what it is. Some kids show the sign of extremely high intellect on the early age, which again leaves people baffled. The sign of extreme high intellect or extreme intelligence, which again leaves people baffled in such an early age. What's happening? It's all karma, basically, throughout all the previous lifetimes. In families, you see there are twins brothers or there are twin sisters, what the term they use in America here, identical. The twin or identical brothers and sisters, and it leaves parents baffled that they act in entirely different ways. The likings, the dislikings, the preferences, everything literally is totally against from each other. Everything. That's all karma. The reason I'm mentioning all this, that karma is something which causes us to take a body and a form and a jivan, which is carnation. Karma causes us to take a body form or a jivan, which is carnation. And if we conduct, that is the main purpose of this very video, if we conduct the process of life or the process of carnation or the process of jivan with awareness, we would shed karma, a lot of it, and that expedites the ultimate liberation, which we understand in Sanskrit as moksha or moksha or mukti. It expedites for us to get there. But what happens when before we take a form or a body, we plan to shed the karma consciously. But as soon as the consciousness goes in the body, what happens is, since the brain is new, there may not be any memory from the previous lifetimes. That's usually the case. We forget why we are here. We forget why we are here. We look around, we get fascinated by the objects, by the beings, by things. There goes a total domestication, a total education, which makes us conditioned. It starts from our own family, then it spreads to siblings, the friends, the brothers, sisters, friends, everyone who came in contact with the entire society, and then the entire globe. There is nobody to blame. Blame game is not the game for me. I don't blame things. I see things as they are, and then I decide what can I do in what has been given to me or what has been offered to me. How do I make the best out of it? But not what could I have. What could I have or what would I have are the things which would keep you restless, and you would get entangled again in the drama. So we look around, there is nobody to blame. It happens to each one of us. Every single human on this entire planet has gone through that. Nobody has escaped the process of conditioning and the process of domestication. I'll go further now. The process of conditioning and the process of domestication is necessary on times in order for us as a human race to survive in the society. However, it is also very possible not to live in that role we have chosen to play. When we are alone, it's our choice whether we still want to keep the mask on or we want to take the mask off. You are playing a role. This is all awareness. When you conduct this very process of carnation and jivan with awareness, this is all awareness, then you shed karma consciously. Now you are consciously conducting the process of life. What I'm delivering to you is pure awareness and pure wisdom. So we have a choice. I made that choice 10 years back or around that time when my life went through the entire transformation and a lot of karma from the previous lifetimes unfolded literally. I made the choice. I made the choice of conduct the process of jivan or carnation consciously with awareness. So what I do when I have to play the role in the society of whatever, we all play these roles. We play the role of a husband, we play the role of a husband, we play the role of a wife, we play the role of a sister, we play the role of a brother, friend, family, we play the role of president, we play the role of you name it, all the titles human have made. But these are just the roles. You understand? These are not real. What real is the life which is running through our body. So I made that distinction quite a few years back, and I live all the time in peace. And since I am aware of myself fully, I see where I am shedding the karma. Even right now, you see, you become so alert that you make choices in your life that you shed karma. So the more karma is shed, the less carnation we would encompass in the upcoming lifetimes, and the less karma there is, the less carnations there are, and the less distance between us and the moksha, which is the ultimate liberation. After that, there is no need of a birth or bodily demise necessary, because all the karma is gone. If you remember, we talked about that probably a couple of videos briefly. This thing, what I'm delivering to you right now, is extremely important. It's something that must be said and must be told. I'm not even saying that should. I'm saying this is something that must be said, and this is something that must be told. It's extremely important, because not conducting the process of life consciously, meaning the role you are playing, when even you are alone, you are in that role. I see human beings so foolishly occupied. Oh my God, it's not even funny. I see humans around me. I see cannot eat properly half of the time on the phone, cannot communicate properly half of the time on the phone, listening to something, watching a video, talking to somebody all the time, going into the mall, buying stuff from a grocery store on the phone, either video call or voice call. Now you may say, what he has against all this? I have nothing against all this. But the thing is, you are stuck in a zero. I keep mentioning zero almost in every message. There is nothing wrong in that. It does not work for you. You have been trying for a long period of time. There is no right or wrong. Remember, as I mentioned Rumi not long time ago, that Rumi said there is a place, there is a field, the entire field, eternity, beyond the concepts, the human constructs of right and wrong. I will meet you there. You understand the meanings of it? It means there is no right or wrong. Right or wrong is the creation of your mind. There is no right or wrong. Whatever works for you becomes right. Whatever does not work for you becomes wrong. It's common sense. It's nothing fictional about it. It's a given. So I have nothing against you getting yourself occupied with people, the new relationships, the talking, the watching, the listening. Listening is important anyway. As I say all the time, listen. That's fine. But I see the intention of the humans. They feel bored if they do not perform something all the time. It's a lot of, it makes them feeble. It makes them weak. It wears them off, because they invest so much energy to keep themselves occupied at all times. Scrolling through the memes, scrolling through the social media. It does not work on the long terms. You have been trying for a number of years. You see, you are here to shed your karma, and you forget, of course. You become fascinated. Now you need an object, basically, to keep you occupied. You need an object, basically, to keep you occupied at all the time. The object can be a video, the object can be a movie, or the object can be a person. There is nothing wrong with doing all that, but keep the awareness that it's not necessary to do this all the time. Yes, every now and then I have life that I maintain, and I'm fully involved with that life. Not only the work life, but the personal life, my family life, my child life, my spouse life. I am totally involved in all this. And my friends' life, the close friends, my family, to whom I consider my family, beautiful people, all these people. I am fully involved with them, totally intact. However, when I am by myself, I am none of that. I take the mask, you see what I'm saying? I take the mask off, and I become totally relaxed and totally connected with the sacred. And what does that mean? It means you become alert of yourself when you do that every day, and you become aware of yourself. Then you make choices with care and conscious choices, not the choices that would lead you to further suffering and accumulate more karma. Remember, I gave you an example in one of the messages or the videos when I talked about the sage who was very popular, and he made some time. He was very wise, and local king or Maharaja actually acquired his services and he agreed to serve humanity. However, he made time every day for himself and came up with the most brilliant and wise answers or solutions for the predicaments. You see, I'm talking so much and all my words are literally coming just like a flow. You see the flow when I talk? I have no thought. People would not believe, or they don't believe when they watch my videos and stuff like that. I have no thoughts and I deliver all this. How have I acquired this kind of state of the being? Is because when I am by myself, it's not necessary for me to play the role or the character anymore. I take the mask off, I leave it aside, and I sit quietly and silently. Remember? Quietly and silently. Remember? Silently. Not only the lips are silent, but the mind is silent. Mind is silent means there is no thought. And making time fully alert. What it would do, it would bring your awareness, it would bring the level of your awareness. Your awareness would expand. You understand? What I'm saying basically, awareness would expand. It's not that awareness has boundaries and it would expand. Awareness or consciousness has no limits. It's limitless. But your focus would expand on the awareness. Awareness or self-consciousness is God. We have proved that in last numerous videos. The sense of the self, oneself, the sense of the oneself, the sense of being aware. When you do this every day, when you take the mask off, when you are just you see, this moment is for you, not for your family, not even for your body or your mind or any friends or anything. When I say this moment is not even for your body and mind, it means whatever comes with it, this moment is not for that. This moment is just for you and what you essentially are, or the very fundamentals of you. And that is basically the sense of being, that I am. That sense. Once you take the mask off and you just realize, and you just self-realize the sense. There are no thoughts, there is nothing happening. Now in your mind, a thought would rise, you gotta do something with your life. Just don't sit around all the time like that. First of all, you are not sitting around all the time. Tell yourself that when a thought like that arises. And two, it's not necessary to do something all the time. As a matter of fact, if you do not do something all the time, something miraculous can happen in your life, which is that you would become enlightened one day. You understand? Somebody asked me a question during a conversation in person. This fella is acquainted to me. He asked me a question that it was just kind of a statement, and the question included in that. He said to me, I think you are enlightened. So I asked him, is there a question somewhere? And he said to me, what do you think? Are you enlightened? I said enlightenment is not something that you can miss. You understand? You are walking in the direction of enlightenment if you are taking the masks you have to put on to function in the society. When you are alone and you realize yourself, the very being, the very sense of the being you realize, you are enlightened. all the wisdom, all the common sense, all the truth would literally flood on you automatically without even thinking. I know so much. I know everything about the experience. When I talk to people, I can see through them because I have clarity in my mind. If you are not conducting the process consciously or with awareness, then you would suffer in the process. You are conditioned as soon as something comes in the premise of your sight, a human being, you want to title or label it so you can feel secure, or your brain, actually, your mind, because you think you are your mind, which is not true. I wouldn't use a hard word, call it a foolishness, which it is, but it's not true. I would just say, leave it to that. You think you are mind, so your mind can rest. As soon as the person comes in the premise of your side, you want to title the person based on the color, no matter what color the person has, white, black, or brown. You want to title the person, and then you want to figure the person out so your mind can feel secure. I wouldn't go even too far. I would say you take 1,000 or 1,000,000 lifetimes and you try to figure me out. See how that would work. You can never figure me out. Or you cannot ever figure anybody out. It's a fact. You cannot. What you do, you give lollipop or you feed your brain or your mind, and you think that you are knowing the truth. As a matter of fact, you are not knowing the truth. You are just knowing what you already know through your thinking. You are perceiving your own knowledge again. There is no wisdom or smartness or intelligence in that. I don't do that. That's why I know something new all the time, because I don't repeat what I already know. You understand what I'm saying? So what is that Buddhist saying? That there is a Buddhist saying, very wise, that when you speak, you are repeating everything that you know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. So when you speak, what is thought? You are speaking in your mind. That's what it is. So you want to title the person based on their color, based on their race, their background, how they talk. And if the person is communicating with you, the person is talking all the world, and you are looking at the person, and there is again a conflict, a contradiction, a friction in your mind saying, oh, I don't know why this person is talking like this, you know. I don't like the way this person is talking, or I like the way this person is talking. Either way, you see, it's not necessary for you to engage in this thought process all the time. But you know, I'm telling you the truth, you know it happens many times a day, 7 days a week. It never stops. And that's how our entire life comes to an end. And when it is over, we look around and we look baffled and we say, oh my God, it's over already. You see, all the time was wasted in three-dimensional reality and all the lies which comes with it. Just because you have a mask on and you think you are Mr. Smith. As Krishnamurti said, Mr. Smith is not Mr. Smith. Words or word is not that. What really exists out there is a phenomena. You see, you can title or mark it so you can function, but you cannot know the truth. But all this happens so rapidly because you are not self-aware. You accept it as normal and natural. All that happens so rapidly. If you are not alert enough, if you are not alert enough, then you would board on these thoughts, and then you board on one thought, you board on entire universe. I have mentioned that in my previous videos, okay? And this is how the day goes. One day, second day, there is no clarity in the awareness, unfortunately. We are accepting our thinking is normal. We are accepting the gossips we do in our mind, the prejudice we have. Everything is normal. Nothing normal about it. Okay, you are accumulating more and more karma just because you are too attached to your creation. You see? You understand what I'm saying? Your mind, for one, and body is also your creation, but I would not elaborate that right now. Otherwise, it would take an entire different other video. Your mind, your body, and the role you are playing, the fiction, the character, you are too attached to it. You are attached to the character of any of the characters you are playing. You are too attached. Even when you are alone, you think you are this. You think you are son or brother or sister or wife or husband. You are none of that. This is just a role that you are playing. Even when you are alone, these thoughts keep you occupied. Then thought arises. You cannot watch anything without thought interrupting you. You see somebody beautiful. You see a car. Somebody's driving a lavish car, a new phone. Just your thought arises. How do I get that, basically? You see, can you not watch something without thought interrupting it? You see a beautiful person. Oh, I wish this person could be mine. You see, thought interrupting all the time. The real wise man, the one who has tremendous amount of clarity, would never have a thought. He would watch, or she would watch, something or anything without any interruption of thought and just perceive the way it is happening. But most humans don't do that. Don't have that. It's not an assumption. Remember, I keep telling you, when I come in contact with humans, I see that. Because if they had clarity, there is no way it could be missed. There is no way. If they had clarity in their awareness, there is no way that it could be missed. But I don't see that. The reason I do not see that, because there is no clarity, unfortunately. That's why I don't see that. I just see preoccupied humans. They are not busy, preoccupied. Somebody sitting quietly, you go, hey, how you doing? Oh, not right now, I'm busy. Busy with what? No, actually you are not busy, I know. You are preoccupied with your psychological drama. Do you understand the message I delivered to you today? The message I delivered to you today is, take the mask off. Do not be too attached to your own creation. You understand? Take the mask off. Do not be too attached to your own creation. When you are alone, there is no need necessary to be something or somebody. You understand? There is no need for that when you are alone. Alone, you take all the mask off, you come back to your fundamental or your sacred or your divine state. We have a few moments before I go in a meditation session. Ponder on what the message I delivered today is extremely crucial.